All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Bottums Up podcast. I am your host, Taylor, and I am actually having to re-record this episode because I tried to record it yesterday and then my audio just did not record for some reason. So, Steve Jobs, if you are up there, if you're paying attention, please make sure that my iPhone does not embarrass me again for the second day in a row. So, this will be my Pride recap episode. My Pride Month recap episode. If you haven't been look, I got around for Pride. All right, I had a great time. I was traveling, I was meeting new people, I was doing new things, going new places, feeling independent, feeling mature. Everything about it was just absolutely amazing. I really do want to, give a big thank you to everybody. First of all, just all the cool people who I met this month, all the cool people who I've been able to build new connections with, both personal and business connections. That's, it's crazy to be here. It's crazy to be at this point, with my platform. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much to my brother for having me in Chicago. I know it wasn't the best timing, but we were able to make it work. And all of his friends for being so kind and so accommodating and just wonderful to be around. Thank you so much to the desk person, the concierge. I don't know what you call them at hotels. They check you in and stuff. Whatever you call that, thank you to the two of you at the Marriott in New York for helping me figure out the issues with the reservation. Incredibly grateful. Thank you so much to all of our event organizers, our community leaders. You guys really gave us a lot to enjoy this month. So thank you so much. I had so much fun. I really this is 100% the best Pride month I have ever had. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to top it next year. But, I don't top in general. So, that was a bad joke. That was a really bad joke. Okay, so before we hop into it, let me go ahead and do a couple of announcements. So the Pride Center in the Pride Center in Milton Manors is doing a school supply drive for, I think, the entire month of July going into August. Again, y'all know that I do not mess around when it comes to these children. Kids cannot learn if they're not giving, adequate tools in order to engage in the classroom. So if you have any money to spare, any supplies to spare, you can actually donate it. I think you can drop it off at the Pride Center. Honestly, at this point, I've shared it a couple times on my Instagram. I'll go ahead and I'll share again after I get this episode dropped because, again, this is something that's very important to me. Education, kids, they need to be taken care of. That should not be a controversial statement, but for some people it is. So then on Wednesday, a different kind of ladies' night. This is now their monthly takeover at Bunbury in Miami. I believe it's a wine bar. Is it a wine bar? If it's not a wine bar, it should be, because getting the girls together over, a little bit of wine, the girls and the days, not the gays, only the girls and the days, because it's not the same. But so they're doing these now monthly. They have all their dates, I think, set until the end of this year, which is so exciting to see. So if you want to go hang out with some really cool people, if you're in Miami, you should absolutely go. That is July 17th. And then July 18th, that is this Thursday. This is also the Equality Park After Dark Day. It's also another monthly event if you're not familiar. Completely free to enter. It's at Equality Park. It's hosted by the Pride Center as well. It's in Milton Manors. They've got vendors, entertainment, food, socializing, all those good things. Very family friendly. Highly recommend it if you're just looking for something, really fun and free to do on a Thursday. Oh, and then if you're also looking for something fun and free to do this Thursday, Ladywood is back. Ladywood is back at Electric Lady in Wynwood. If you haven't seen it yet, DJ Samantha Blends, since we're not on a first name basis yet, She will be back in town. And she'll be DJing at Ladywood, and then she's also going to be DJing at the Babes and Bubbles brunch, which will be on Sunday. So you got 2 Les Chic events coming up this week. Thursday is Ladywood, Sunday is Babes and Bubbles brunch. And then Steer Queer is also doing, man, Thursday is busy this week. Steer Queer is doing a queer vinyl disco. This is a fundraiser, a trans inclusive fundraiser. So, you know, if you're feeling charitable, you know, that just drop by. Just drop by. I believe that one's also in Miami. But again, you know, I check the Instagram highlight, check the calendar. That one has, you know, exact locations as well. And then this Saturday, this is the one that I'm so excited about. So, okay, I gotta rewind. We gotta tap in. So, back earlier this year, I don't even remember when this was. It must have been like February, March. I was with, I was doing recording my episode with Lana. And after that episode, she mentioned that she was meeting up with a friend in Fort Lauderdale for a brunch. And the thing is, I like brunch. So I may or may not have invited myself along. I did ask. I was like, hey, could I come with? And she was like, yeah, no problem. Also, I drove her there. So like, so we go, and it's with her friend, Savannah. And we're just kind of, you know, chit-chatting about, you know, different ways to engage the community, you know, setting up different events, again, that aren't really focused necessarily on drinking or partying or, you know, various substances, something that's a little bit more laid back and something that's a little bit more like wellness and community focused, like connection focused. And she came up with the idea for a walk. And look, I love a good walk. All right. I'll be walking. All right. I hate driving, and I get really impatient with public transit. So I will gladly walk myself almost anywhere. I think my upper limit is like 3 miles, especially if I have the right pair of shoes. I don't give a fuck. I'm walking. God gave me 2, I don't want to say good legs, because my knees are kind of, but like they're decent. They're decent. Like a 6 out of 10, you know? Well, I would say like the right is like an 8 out of 10. The left is like a 6 out of 10. So, you know, I'm good. And so I've been waiting since then for her to, you know, drop the flyer or, you know, let me know what's happening. And I've been, cause I've been wanting to ask, like, I've been wanting to like be nosy, but then I'm like, oh my God, Taylor, stop. Like, just let her do her thing. And I'm so glad that, that I maintained my cool, because it's coming up on Saturday, 10 a.m., Hagen Park in Milton Manors, completely free. Just come and walk with us. Like, I'm about to have the best time. All right. I can just go and yap, which I don't know. You guys seem to really like these episodes where it's just me talking endlessly. So maybe is that what you want? Is that what you want from me? I'll do my best. My mouth gets kind of dry, you know, but I will, if you want me to yap, I will yap. Okay. And then also on Sunday, Dia de Rumba with a Mavi. That'll also be going down in Miami. I cannot remember off the top of my head who the DJ is going to be. It is a day party, a darty, as my brother calls them. But it is being hosted by Nia, and y'all know how I feel about Nia. So, oh wait, actually no, that episode hasn't dropped yet. Okay. Nia's cool. Nia's great. Love her energy. Can't get enough of her. You should absolutely go. She is wonderful to be around, and the Mavi crowd is also like very wonderful to be around. So that is it for announcements. I don't think I have anything else to tap into. No, I think we can go ahead and move on to horoscopes. Oh, I really, you know, the mosquito season, for some reason they're in my house, and I can't quite figure out why. But it's really irritating me. Okay. Let's see. What does my horoscope have to say to me today? Good evening, Taylor. It is 88 degrees Fahrenheit with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in your area. Today at a glance, you don't have to report to anyone about your alone time. Do eye contact, Collaborative playlists, spin the bottle. Don't. Wait by the phone. Thumb twiddling. Divided attention. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack in this one. First of all, I'm gonna be real honest and vulnerable with you all right now. So I got a text today from my psychiatrist saying that they tried to charge my card for my most recent appointment and it got declined. And I was like, mind you, my bank is absolutely insane when it comes to security. But I figured, this is, maybe it's that, but they've charged my card before, and I was like, did I get a new card? I was like, it seems kind of weird. So I went and I checked my account to see what's going on, and my checking account was at negative $281. Now, I know that I was living very deliciously for the month of Pride, and perhaps the 2 months before that, if not 3 months before that. I just didn't realize it was this bad. Look, first of all, two things. One, I am usually, it's wild to say this, I'm usually very financially responsible. My parents, actually my whole family, they joke that I must have some offshore account or something somewhere because I always have money in any scenario. And I do. I am that dead ass, that's one of 7 accounts that I have. So I'll be fine. My bills are paid. I am taken care of. Frankly, it could have been worse. Way worse. But I have set myself up in such a way that if I am a little bit or a lot of it irresponsible, I can, I'll be fine. 2, I'm not laughing about this because I don't think that it's a problem, because I don't think that it's serious. Actually, one of my friends did tell me pretty recently that she thinks that I have a spending problem, and yeah, she's right. Did I need to go to all these thrift stores in both locations? No, I didn't have to. But I wanted to. Didn't have to, wanted to. That's me. I'm humble. I'm open. I'm an open book. So when I saw that today, I said, wow, I need to not be doing this. I was like, yeah, I need to start. Well, first of all, I need to not leave my house. I think that, and you know what? I don't want to leave my house. My house has been very comfy and cozy, especially with all this traveling I've been doing. So it kind of works out. So my horoscope says that I don't have to explain my alone time to people, even though I just explained it to anybody who's listening to this. Yeah, I don't have to justify anything. I don't. If I'm inside this month instead of outside as usual, it's fine. It's fine. And even if I did have money, even if I wasn't overdrafting, I'm still allowed to stay inside if I so please. Okay? So it is what it is. Wait, no, because it also said something else. This is actually a very comprehensive horoscope for me today. Let's see, what else did you say? My dues were eye contact, collaborative playlists, and spin the bottle, which I feel like that has to pertain to work right now. I don't know. I got put on this project that's in a little bit of a weird spot. So I'm trying to, put a lot of energy into that. But then at the same time, I thought I was going to have a lull in my work. And then all of a sudden I got 4 emails within an afternoon just of problems. And I'm and that's, I love my job. I love what I do for work. It is amazing and very fulfilling, and I like it. I like it a lot. It was just we weren't expecting that. So having a bunch of stuff get thrown on me within a 24-hour time period was kind of ugh. But eye contact, yes, I need to make eye contact with my boss when I tell him that I'm going to be delivering something later than expected, or when my plate has a lot more on it than we initially anticipated. Collaborative playlists, yeah. Yeah, got a Spotify for me and all the project managers that I'm working with. Spin the bottle. Yeah, I'm not kissing anybody. I don't think I want to. Yeah, we're going to keep that. Yeah, we're good. We're good. My don'ts: wait by the phone, thumb twiddling, divided attention. I feel like this is referring to my dating life right now, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the way that this is talking to me. Basically, this horoscope is telling me that I genuinely need to recenter and refocus on myself and my own development. Like, that's what I am hearing. That, like, girl, you have so many tasks, you have so many things. Those need to be what you're focusing on, instead of like trying to deal with, like, you know, other people's bullshit. You know what? And co-star 8 with that. I'll allow it. All right. Enough of that. Enough of that. Let's talk about Pride Month. So I did make a post pretty recently that kind of touched on, like, my history with Pride Month, and kind of this journey that I've been on, you know, with celebrating Pride Month. So my very first Pride was in 2018. That was in Washington, D.C. I was still in school. That was after my junior year of college. And I kind of, well, like I've said before, you know, I came out as bisexual my senior year of high school. And then after that, like, I didn't really start dating until, like, I want to say summer of 2017. Was still bisexual. I was like, oh, I like men. Idiot. So I was still dating men at that point, and I was getting on the dating apps. I was getting on Tinder. I was getting on Her. And this was, like, really my first foray into dating. Like, I didn't date in high school. Like, I dated one guy for 3 weeks, and I broke up with him because I didn't like the idea of celebrating a month anniversary. So I broke up with him after 3 weeks, and he's doing great. He's a child now. So by the time 2018 rolled around, because the thing is, like, I had Tinder, but I kept regularly changing it to show me just women instead of men and women. Like, I would just randomly just have these bouts where I was just like, oh, just men irritate me, and then I would switch it, and it never clicked. It never clicked in my head. Well, I guess eventually it did, kind of, but it didn't. Like, in that moment, I couldn't. It's like, girl, you don't like men. Girl, you don't like men. I don't know how to make that any more obvious, but, like, you don't like them. So that was great. And then, so I was doing that, like, back and forth. And even, like, my friends were like, Taylor, we think you're a lesbian. And I'm like, no. I like men. Mind you, every time that a man would message me on Tinder, if a man just sent me, like, hey, it would piss me off. Like, I would be so irritated by it. And still, I thought, okay, it's because he's not putting in effort, like, blah, blah, blah. I don't like him. Meanwhile, if a woman says me, hey, it takes me about 12 business hours to craft a response to be like, how do I let this absolute ethereal goddess know that, like, I would die for her? Like, yeah, it took a while. It took a while to click. So 2018 in the summer, as I've said now about 7 billion times, I was literally, I was sitting at my friend's apartment. We were, like, you know, just kind of getting ready, about to head to the metro to go into the city. And I had the dating apps on my phone, and I matched with a trans man probably like a week prior. And I got a notification on my phone that he had messaged me. And I don't know what it was. I looked at that message, and I looked at his profile, and I was just like, you know what? I don't like men. I just don't. I don't. Trans, cis, no. It's just not, it's not going to happen. I don't want that. I really don't want that. So it clicked in that moment, and I completely was like, yeah, I'm a lesbian, and it was only up from there, allegedly. So yeah, we went to the city, went to Pride for the first time. I got free Chipotle. It was great. Like, it was it was really good. I felt like very connected to my community in that moment. So it just like, it was, I had a good time. I had a really great time. So 2019 rolls around. I've graduated from undergrad and I'm still in the city for the summer. So I'm like, all right, let's celebrate Pride. And I got with one of my friends who, she was under 21 at the time. So she decided that she was going to supply, I did not ask questions. She said that she was going to supply drinks for us to pregame. And I was like, okay, all right. And then she kind of did not let me have any. And she also insisted that we go to an 18 plus club, because again, she's under 21. She does not have a fake ID. We don't break the law over here. So we go to this 18 plus club. It's a popular club in DC. It's just not gay. And I'm like, it's Pride Month. So like, I want to be around my people, but I'm trying to be a good friend. She is just chugging this drink that she has, and I'm just kind of like standing around like, all right, guess I've got about $600 in my bank account, which is more than I have now, but I was like, I only have $600 in my bank account. I guess I'll go get a drink like inside. That night, so we get in, within like 5 minutes, she is like swept away with a man, and she says, 'cause she was bisexual, and she's like, I'm good. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm just kind of like hanging around, sober, 21, gay. I'm not having a good time. And so I'm kind of scoping it out. Like, I'm trying to see like, like, are there any other gay people here that I can like, connect with? Maybe, find a girl to smooch or whatever. And so I saw this girl who like, she was like wearing like Pride regalia. So I was like, okay, that's a homosexual. And so I'm like thinking about how I'm going to approach her. And like, as I'm, kind of like standing off to the side, like trying to like, figure it out, this man like walks past. He goes to walk all the way past me. I guess we briefly made eye contact. When I tell you, this man stops in his tracks and turns around to talk to me. And I'm like, oh my God. Can't get away from him. Cannot get away from them. So he just like asked me if I want to dance, and I don't know how to say no to people. So I was just like, yeah, I guess. So start dancing, and then he's like behind me, and then like I could like feel, and I was just like, oh, I don't like this. And then he started kissing like my shoulder, and I was like, I'm done. I turned around and I said, I need to go to the bathroom. And I ran. When I tell you, I ran, not Iraq, I ran just out. I was like, I went in the direction of the bathrooms, and then I just kind of stayed down there like in the crowd for a while, like until I felt certain that he was like gone, because that's the only way that I knew how to deal with that situation. And then I feel like I used to have like a lot of like imposter syndrome about like being a lesbian, where I was like, oh, maybe I'm faking it. Like, oh, maybe this is a phase. And that that is one of those moments where I'm just like, yeah, no, there's no way. I am not faking this. This is 100% who I am, no questions asked. So yeah, that was great. And then my friend ended up throwing up in the club, just on the floor. And then when I ordered us a lift to go home, and then she threw up in the lift, which destroyed my 5-star rating that I'd had for about 3 years. And then she also tried to argue with me about paying for the cleaning fee of $100. So yeah. So that was 2019. And after that, we went out on Friday. I was like, I'm staying in there. I was like, I'm done. Because it was supposed to be both of us like kind of hanging out for Pride weekend. But I was just like, your tone and the way that you have dealt with this, I'm not enjoying. Like, so I'm just not going. I'm not doing this. We're not doing this. Then 2020, there was a pandemic. 2021, it's when I finished grad school, and I was severely depressed. So I was not really leaving my house at all, minus to go to my literal job. 2022, that's when my ex was living with me. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And 2023, like I've mentioned before, I was in a situationship, and it was just wrecking me. I had no friends to like, go out and hang out with and like do stuff with. So it was very, very sad. So 2024, to be here in 2024, to I have been to, I think six Pride celebrations, 6 cities this month or this year. So Hollywood, Miami Beach, Wynwood, Wilton Manors, Chicago, and New York. 6. I've been to 6 cities. And I mean, like I've met so many people. I kissed a lot of women. And at least one non-binary person. At least one. Yeah, I think just one. Yeah, it's been magical. It's truly been magical. Just to see the way that like different cities go about it. Because there's always this like weird comparison game, like where we look at Miami and the way that our community is down here, and it gets compared a lot to other cities. So it's like it's nice to see the way that other cities do it, but then it's also like I'm constantly thinking, okay, how do we actually build our own identity down here? We don't have to be like New York or Chicago or Los Angeles or Toronto. Toronto. We are our own thing. And like, there are things that are very special and very unique about our community. And so again, I'm one person. All right. I'm literally just a girl. And I don't have the solutions to everything. I don't have it all like, thought out, but I don't know. I just feel like I don't want it to be so much of a comparison game. Like we absolutely, not only, you Latins, the Latin food, just the way that a lime can really make a meal. Whew. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional about that. Like they don't have that in other places, like they don't have the weather like this in other places. They don't have, like the iguanas. Like, why are the iguanas not part of Pride? I'm just brainstorming. All right, I'm just throwing things out there. We are, our own special thing, and I think that the way that we build our community should be based around that, and not based so much on like trying to copy what other cities are doing. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope I didn't ruffle any feathers. I hope that was not controversial. Okay, fine. Let me actually double check to make sure this is still recording my audio. Okay, thank God. It's been 27 minutes. My God. All right. Let's get into it. So, first weekend of Pride. Honestly, we kicked it off nice and strong. So that first Friday was a Les Cheek event, and Ray had reached out to me maybe like a week and a half beforehand about doing like street interviews at her events. Mind you, she did street interviews at one of her events. I think it was in like February. And I saw that and I was like, ooh, I would like to do that. But, I'm doing my own thing, and I'm still new to this. So I didn't want to, encroach. And then she asked me and I was like, oh, yes, let's do it. So, and, obviously now, like, you guys have seen, if you haven't seen the reel, where have you been? Do you live under a fucking rock? I had so much fun with that. That was one of the best nights of my life. No questions asked. You guys are so funny. And I appreciate, people's willingness to talk with me. Like, I know it can be like a little bit awkward and a little bit weird, like getting on camera for the first time, and like not everybody is into that. But like you guys were amazing, so sweet, so kind, so funny. I loved it. I had so much fun. And I don't know, I think I just liked being like in a creative mindset, like instead of, just kind of like being there and like dancing or whatever and like trying to like be cute and look cute and things like that. I like, it's the neurodivergence. I like having a job. I like having something to do. My God, I'm like a fucking Malinois or something. Yeah, it was wonderful. I had a great time. We did get into a car accident later that night, but everybody lived. And then that's when I called the police, to come, to make the report or anything. So, okay, I'm just going to hope that my insurance is not listening. It was a hit and run. And the thing about me is that I believe in liberty and justice for all. So they ran, I ran. I put my foot on the gas and I was in hot pursuit. And then the 911 operator, a very stern woman, it was kind of hot. She told me not to do that. She is like, stop. That is dangerous. Stop pursuing them. Which should be good advice for a lot of people for various situations. But she says, stop pursuing them. That is very unsafe. And I said, yes, ma'am. And so we met with the cops, and they kind of said the same thing. They were just like, yeah, in this state, you don't know. You don't know. Like, people are crazy. You don't know if they have guns or not. And literally without even a moment's hesitation, which if I had hesitated to say this, I think that I wouldn't be so embarrassed about it. But the fact that I didn't even think twice, that my brain was immediately like, oh, and then, ooh, here's it's in your head and now it's out of your mouth. The fact that my brain just immediately went to, oh, well, they haven't seen these guns. I flexed to the cops. I made a pun. They did all laugh. All three of them laughed. I did apologize, but still, I'm a crowd favorite. What can I say? But everybody was okay in the end. We got home perfectly fine. And then Saturday was the actual, Wilton Manors Pride Parade. So I was on the Les Chic bus. Well, okay, so first, Heaven and I were just kind of out and about, having a good time, being girls. Met up with some people. It was, it was a very, casual day. I don't really, when it comes to the parades and stuff, I don't really do all that much. It's kind of, it's just kind of hanging out with people. I'm not really doing anything crazy. I did appreciate how family friendly, Wilton Manors Pride was. It felt very quaint. It felt, very local. Oh my God. I love, kids are just adorable. All right. And they just say funny things. And of course, kids see rainbows and flowers and colors and bright things, and they just they just they love that. They love that shit. So it was just adorable. So then in the evening, since Wilton Manors has the night pride parade, which honestly that was kind of fire. I really liked that. Just with all the glow sticks and again bright colors. Oh my goodness, I am a 3 to 5 year old infant. Jesus. Whatever. Colors, glowing, bright lights. I was here for it. The only thing is, so I guess the forecast, it's hurricane season. So the forecast was is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? We don't know. So thankfully, Ray went ahead and got a covered bus. The bad part about the covered bus is that there are so many people on there. When I tell you, I was sweating. Sweat through my entire outfit. Everybody on this bus was sweating. We were all drenched. The breeze was non-existent. There were so many people. Everybody was shaking booty. It was great. It was great. I had I didn't realize that they made hard Arizona tea, so I got one of those, and that was my drink of choice for this bus. And a time was had. All right, at a minimum. Very fun. If you were on that bus, you were a part of some absolutely immaculate vibes. 10 out of 10. Would do it again. If you're coming to either both Les Chic and She Life have done buses for Miami Beach Pride and Wilton Manors Pride. If you can afford it, you should absolutely come on the bus. I could not, but I did anyways. I didn't know at that time. I didn't know. So that, amazing. And then I think after the bus, it was so hot that I was just okay, I'm tired. I'm going home. And then by Sunday, because I figured technically Friday night was work. Technically Saturday was trying to get content or, all that. So by Sunday, I was planning on going to the She Life pool party, and I was I just want to veg out. I'm like, I don't want to think about anything. I just want to look cute poolside. And here's my thing. So because I have an obvious shopping problem, I have a basket full of bathing suits that I purchased between the years of 2020 and 2022 that I just never got to wear. Some of them I purchased because I thought like, oh, I'll have like a nice beach day, because I'm a beach girly. I like the beach. And then I just can't motivate myself to go to the beach. Two of them I bought because I was talking to this girl who had a boat, and I was like, okay, I need to get these for when I go on her boat. I was very hopeful. She ghosted me. So yeah, I never got to wear those bathing suits. And then, there's a couple in there that, it hasn't happened. All right. So when a pool party shows up and you tell me that I can go put on a cute bathing suit that ain't no one has seen, and I can just lay in the sun in that and some cute shades, and maybe I'll dip my feet in the pool, and then and there's beautiful women around me, and She Life always has the floaties. Why would I say no? Why would I deprive myself of that? All right. I'm out here living deliciously, perhaps too deliciously. Actually, yes, living way too deliciously, but the pool parties have nothing to do with that. All right. I will never withhold myself when it comes to a pool party. I will be there. I will be present. It is what it is. Matter of fact, some of these bathing suits I've worn too often, and I think I'm ready to replace them. No, if anybody wants to, okay. Originally I was gonna say if anybody wants to be my sugar mama, but no, I'm gonna make this a business move. If anybody wants to sponsor this podcast and give me clothing to wear so that I stop spending so much money at the thrift store and at Target and on Facebook Marketplace, I would appreciate it. You would be helping a child in need. So, and the child is me. So yeah, I don't really know what I have to offer. I'm kind of cool to talk to. I know a lot of bug facts. So yeah, just putting it out there if you want to. So yeah, so that was weekend number 1 of Pride Month. Very nice, started strong, really happy with it. The second weekend I was actually completely, I think I was free in terms of I didn't have anything specific that I was planning on doing, but honestly, thank God, because trying to do 2 weekends in a row of traveling, mind you, I also these were 3 days. I took PTO, I took the Friday off for both, Chicago and for New York, because I want, I didn't want to be in a rush when I was there. I actually wanted to make sure that I had time to spend. And for Chicago specifically, I've only been there once, and it was when my brother first moved there, and I was quite literally in the city for 36 hours because of just the way that, because I was having to buy a Spirit ticket, and that's just how, the flight times ended up working out. It was really sucked. I was really upset about that. So being able to actually go back and not only really spend time there, but being able to do part of it independently was really nice. That actually was probably the best part about going out and traveling this month. It's because yeah, I joke that it's oh, I'm doing business trips, because yes, technically I was doing podcast stuff while I was on both of those trips, and I try to take it seriously, out of respect for myself and also respect for the people that, reach out to me about collaborating and doing things together. So yes, when I'm working, I try to be very focused and in that work mindset. But, once it's over, and then it's much easier for me to kind of disconnect and just be out and have fun and enjoy myself, because it's okay, I've checked the thing off the box that I was supposed to do today. Now I can actually go and have fun. So the first day that I was there, because I got there really late on Thursday night, so I went to bed, and I was well, we'll do stuff on Friday, and we already planned hey, Friday's gonna be the day for work. I think I had an episode that I wanted to edit, and then I wanted to get this episode recorded with my brother's friend, so I was okay, we're doing all of that on Friday. So met up with my brother's friend on campus. I took the metro out like by myself. So getting to just kind of, do it on my own. I took a little bit of a walk around the city because my Apple Maps decided to take me in the wrong direction. So thank you. But no, I got to walk around the city. Chicago, I'm, architecture. Architecture is my thing. And Chicago is just one of those cities that, man, it's got some great architecture. It's got probably about like 100 years worth of modern architectural history. And just to kind of, let me geek out for a minute. Let me be a little bit of a nerd. When we think about modern history, I kind of think about, from the Industrial Revolution on, because the Industrial Revolution kind of kickstarted both population growth and technological and social change at a rate that was unprecedented. That, like, before we were not seeing, that kind of social, political, or economic growth. So in architecture is a reflection, of that. Think like, when I was a kid, I'm for those who don't know, I'm 26 years old. I was born in 1997. When I was a kid, I remember like using floppy disks, and CDs in order to, I remember the original Microsoft Word art. Fire. The one that was like, it was like thick and then it got skinny, like with the shadow and that would peak. Man, society has not progressed since Microsoft, the original Microsoft Word art. And I remember when Microsoft 2007 came along and it decided that it like wasn't going to be like emo anymore or something. I have yet to recover. I remember when they decided that Pluto wasn't a planet. But anyway, all of this to say, I remember like the first iPhone coming out, and then look at us now. We're on, an 8 is what I have. Don't say anything about that. But like, it's crazy, like the amount of change that has happened in a very, very short amount of time. But architecture is a reflection of that as well. So like Chicago, since it's not quite as old as New York, it wasn't built up as fast. So you can see like so many different decades and like so many different like portions of architectural history within, just a quick walk through the city. So that was like really, really exciting. Every single time that I get to see it, it's like I'm left in awe. If you can't tell, I am very passionate about what I do. All right, I love architecture. I love creating space. I love designing my space. Like that is so like, it's always been such an important part of me. So that that makes Chicago like that much more exciting to visit. But anyways, back to the gay stuff. So I recorded a podcast episode with my brother's friend. They have their own podcast. It's a lot more academic compared to mine, which, I'm a little bit of an academic, as you can see. I hope you can see. So it was nice to kind of be in a little bit of a different mindset on the mic, and then it was for their podcast, not mine. So it was, it was refreshing, sobering, to be able to just kind of, talk a little bit more seriously about these topics. Of course, like I do try to have like serious conversations on this platform, but obviously, I like to pad it out with humor. I like to pad it out, with things that make people feel good, because at the end of the day, it's like I'm not trying to have us crying in the club. Been there, don't want to do it again. So we did all that, and then we went to dinner at a restaurant called Amaru. So good. It's like a southern fusion. The drinks, we just got little plate after plate after plate after plate. Delicious. And of course, my brother goes there frequently, so they just know him. Like we walked in, and they're like, "Oh, hi, Chris. We didn't know you had a twin." Excuse me? What you mean? That's the treatment that I get when I go to the laundromat, because I go there every week and they know my face, not these cute little upscale restaurants or whatever. So very nice, had a wonderful time there. And then we went out for a little bit on Saturday night, but again, I was just like a little tired, and then I had a 5K to do in the morning. So I retired very early. And then I did my 5K on Saturday morning. What I will say about the 5K, was it one of my better times? Absolutely. I think I was in like the 8.5-minute mile, so I'm happy with that. Was the trail very beautiful and scenic? Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Loved it. Beautiful. Would do it again. But they weren't actually like tracking the time. So like if you've never done a 5K, if you've never done like a race, what they do, they give you a little bib with your number on it. And then usually it has like a little like tracking thingy in it for your time. And then they have like, a little thing set up when you start, so that when you pass it, it starts your time. And then they have one at the end where it records your time, like once you come back. And I am competitive. Very competitive. So I was really, I got to the end and I'm used to getting like, a medal or like a paper that shows you my time. Or I'm looking at the leaderboard trying to see like where I what. Nothing. They gave me an apple and a banana and a sparkling water and said, "Great job. Thanks for coming." Was it for charity? Yes. Am I still upset? Also, yes. Am I trying not to be as upset? Yeah. I'm doing my best, I promise. So it was a good run. Got back, showered, got changed, brunch. Late brunch, by my standards. I think it was like a 1:00 reservation. Ugh. Oh, we went to Bar Cochina. I don't know where it is in Chicago, but we went to Bar Cochina. We had the best waitress. Okay, so look, Lauren, if by chance you are watching this, or if by chance your managers are watching this, if you are tuned in, you need a raise, okay? If you haven't gotten a raise yet, if you haven't gotten a fat bonus yet from this company, you deserve one, because the service, the service in general, immaculate. And she was like, "Oh, this is my first time like doing brunch." And I'm like, "Girl, you're doing amazing. We have a party of like 14 people." And she is putting in the work, and she is checking in on us, and she is remembering these orders. And it's not only that, like, because the thing is, waiters don't have to be nice to us, all right? They just have to do their job. As long as I get my food in a reasonable amount of time and it's warm, I'm happy, all right? I don't really care, and I don't get overcharged. That's fine. You can spit on me. Actually, please don't do that. Do not do that. My standards are not that low, but they're kind of low. So her having the vibe, like, she literally matched the vibe of our group. And I'm like, girl, 14 people, your first time doing brunch, and you're matching our vibe, and you're chill like that? Girl, come sit down. What are you doing after this? When do you get off? When's your shift end? Because you are cool. We need to go hang out. And on top of that, she was also wearing this dress that was so cute. It was like a halter neck, like tennis type dress, and it was this like really like deep, like saturated salmony color, and then the binding was like white and contrast, and it looked athletic. And I was just girl, like everything about, like, this is a Lauren from Bar Cochina. This is a Lauren from Bar Cochina stan account now. I'm about to make her a fan page, because she really, oh my god, just amazing service. And yes, we tipped heavily, okay? We tipped heavily. My brother wrote a very long, really good review about her, and I think I also tagged her in my Instagram post. I tagged Bar Cochina, and I specifically shouted out Lauren, because I'm like, girl, and we told her to her face, like, hey, you're great, like, you're fantastic, you did a wonderful job, because it's very important to be nice to people and to be kind to people. So yeah, that was great. After that, my brother and I went thrifting. I think, where did we go? I forget the first place that we went. I actually was not a fan of. It just felt very overpriced. I think in general, Chicago thrifting just felt a little bit overpriced. I was just kind of like, this stuff is still secondhand. Like, let's be realistic. So I actually, with the first place that we went to, they were actually selling my Converse that I have, my platform Converse shoes. They were selling a pair of those used for like $45. I got mine brand new from Ross for like $40. So it just didn't really feel right. And once I saw that, I was like, Christopher, we need to exit. I'm not doing this. And then we went to Buffalo Exchange, where I had a better experience at Buffalo Exchange. There was a lot more. It was a really good variety of items, and then the pricing also, like, there was some variety. So I tried on a couple of things. I think I only walked out with like a couple of items though, because I wasn't really loving like how a lot of the stuff was fitting me. I didn't really like it on my body. So I do things that make me feel good in my body. So I got this really, really, really cute bodysuit. Nice, like, thick, soft fabric. It's like a sleeveless polo bodysuit, and it has like the big buttons, and it's just very cute. It looked, I be looking. I actually just wore it to work today, and she a baddie, she a 10. Like it just makes me feel so good. It makes me feel like a little sexy librarian. So I really like that one. And then I also got this cropped sweater that, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if I'm gonna wear it to the club or to the gym, because it really could go both ways. Like this top is quite literally a sports bra from Boohoo, and I've been wearing it out. I've been having a good time on this thing. So yeah, really cute, but like waiting until like winter time, because it is long sleeve. And then we went to this place called Coco Rococo, which is less thrift, more like vintage, like high-end stuff. So, and like even collector's items. There was actually this watch that I really liked, but it was $150. So I was like, I'm not buying that, which, considering my current financial situation, was probably a really good idea. My brother did actually find this wool skirt on the clearance rack, and he grabbed it. And it's, it's 100% wool. And I'm looking at it, and it kind of has this like single button closure. And I'm like, like this looks like it might be a horseback riding skirt. Cause like sometimes, like if you're, riding a horse in the winter, and there's a lot of like, wind kind of like going over your legs, it can get really, really cold. So some people will wear a skirt over their pants to ride in, and you can put it over the horse's butt too. It's like a whole thing. All right. Trust me. So he picked up this skirt, and it's like kind of like a midi length. And I'm like, I wonder if this is a horseback riding skirt. Let me see what the brand is. Because sometimes I do find like horseback riding stuff when I go to the thrift store. And I looked at the tag. Y'all. It said Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent. I said, buy it. You are not exiting. He's like, it doesn't fit. I don't care. You are exiting the store with that skirt. I think it was like $20 on a clearance rack at Coco Rococo. I tried on a pair of pants, and I could not get them past my thighs. Which that actually happened a couple of times while we were thrifting. And it's also been happening with some of my pants that I've had in my collection for a decent amount of time. And no one really prepared me for this when I started going to the gym. No one told me that this was going to be part of it. So, yeah, if I can get a pants sponsorship, that would also be really great. Or even like a protein powder sponsorship. If it's Clear Away Isolate, I'll take it. So Coco Rococo, he got his things. I was like, it's fine. And then as we were walking back to the train, we passed this other thrift store, and they had all the denim was like on sale out front. And I was like, yeah, I can go for a new pair of jeans. Or I thought I could afford it, but whatever. So I'm looking through the denim, and I see this really cute pair of like striped. There was a couple pairs that I grabbed, and I went and I tried on. Especially because like typically like the vintage pants kind of like fit me a little bit better because they are designed for a slightly curvier shape. So long as I can find it in the right size, and the right material, I go ahead and I buy it, because I'm not, we are building a dump truck. All right. We are building a fatty back here. So I go and I try it on. Of course, like 3 of the 4 pairs that I picked up just did not fit. Just didn't make it up. Did not make it up. But one pair did fit, and I was really happy with that. That's a pair of it's striped. They kind of look like clown pants, but whatever. And it's they're hardy. Like, it's a hardy pair of pants. Like that. Like, I can tell that it's seen some things. So really happy with that pair. And then I did also find this really cute pair of Italian leather boots, like mid calf. I have to show you. Look at it. Look at it. Is that not? And like, that little bit of a shine to it. I have not figured out what the actual brand is. I think it's Aldo. I think it is. I think that's what it is. But I saw these and I was like, yeah, you're coming home with me. So yeah, I have yet to bust them out, mostly because my ankle and my left knee, my left ankle and my left knee have absolutely been telling me that I need to stop wearing heels so often. I need to stop walking such long distances in said heels. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from extended periods of time in heels, but they will pop out. They will pop out. And to be honest, they kind of feel like a little bit more of a winter shoe anyways. So maybe they'll pop out with my little sweater situation. We'll see. But I'm very, very, very happy with those. My brother found this stunning winter coat, like outerwear. It had this like cool, like black and white, like color block pattern on it. It was $215. And the thing is, my brother is probably less financially responsible than I am, and yet he still didn't buy it. It was really cute too. I really liked it. I actually thought about I thought about buying it for him for his birthday. But yeah, that's not happening because his birthday is in like 3 days. So yeah, that's not. No. But yeah, wonderful experience. If I can remember the name of the store, like I will absolutely like tag them. And I think I really wanted to, do this episode while like trying on, like showing you guys like all the thrift hauls, but it's just like so much. Like I have even stuff from Los Angeles that I haven't even like shared of, stuff that I thrifted. So, I will just kind of be slowly showing those off in like various outfits like over the next couple of weeks, because like I love thrifting. I love thrifting, and there's so many different ways to do it. I love having things that have a story and that have a history. So I'll do my best to kind of, do a little bit more fashion content for the next couple of weeks, just so you guys can see like what I'm getting, what I lean towards and how I style it, because I have a very small closet, so I gotta make most of it. So Saturday night, we ended up going to, I was looking for some lesbian bars, which like, thank you to everybody who gave me suggestions, because I don't know anything about Chicago. So I was like, where do I go? We started the night at Nobody's Darling, which is, it was a little diverse. It was a diverse little place. It wasn't, they don't stay open very late. I think they ended up closing at like, I think 1:00 in the morning or something like that, which, is early for, compared to the places in Miami that don't close to like 3, 4, 7 a.m. So yeah, like they closed kind of early. But when we got there, it was so hard getting a drink. So there's 2 bars. So we went to the one, like when you first walk in, and it's just like I stood there trying to get their attention. I swear these bartenders were just ignoring me, and I was like, okay. And then somebody, like another employee came by the bar, and I tried to order from him, and he was like, oh, I don't take orders from the bar. He's like, I don't do bartending. And I'm like, okay, why are you behind the bar? And then I didn't say that, but in my head, I'm like, okay. So he's like, oh, go try the other bar. I think that one's moving a little bit faster. So I go to the other bar, and they've got one bartender back there who, they are working like a dog. Matter of fact, wait, no. Because this is exact, because we waited this was probably like a half hour of just trying to get like one drink. And I was like, what is going on here? So then I messaged the group because, you know, I'm standing at this bar. The pretty privilege isn't working. I'm trying to get this drink and it's not happening. So then I text the group and I'm like, I'm about to give up on these drinks. They've got non-binary Slim Shady working like a dog behind this bar. Because they were working like a dog. I'm just like, and then literally like right after I sent that message, then they noticed me, and I get my drink. And then I don't know, is this standard? So I ordered the first drink because I ordered 2 drinks for I ordered 1 drink for myself, 1 drink for my brother. We threw those back, not gonna lie. So then I'm like, all right, second drink, I got a green tea shot. And is it normal for a bartender when you order a green tea shot to take a shot with you? Like they poured my shot and then they poured a shot for themselves and then we just took it together. And I'm like, I've never had that happen before, like at other bars. Like, cause I get green tea shots cause they taste good. So I've never had that happen before. So like, can somebody please tell me if that's normal? And if not, like, thank you, Slim Shady. This was a wonderful experience. I appreciate you. And actually, I told them, because we believe in being very nice to people in the service industry, I told them afterwards, like, hey, thank you. Like, you know, I can't believe they had you back here alone. Like, you did a great job. Like, you know, thank you so much for your service. So non-binary Slim Shady 2024. That's all I'm saying. So after that, we went to, I think it's called like Sidecar. So like we went to kind of like this one area where it's just a lot of gay bars. I don't necessarily know if it was Boys Town or not, but there was a lot. There's a lot of things happening there. But because it was Pride weekend, my brother was just saying that like a lot of these places, which are usually like free, like no cover, they're charging a cover, and like, again, $20 so that I would officially be over $300 in the red in my bank account. Absolutely not. It was not happening. So we ended up going, I think it was called Sidebar, something like that. And by this point in the night, because here's my thing. When I go out, when I am in the presence of lesbians, I would like a smooch or two, you know? A smooch or two. Not beyond that, it's like, it's a bit much for me. All right, I start feeling a little, like maybe I should be Catholic again. But 1 to 2, perfectly fine. And at this point in the night, I was at 0. And that's just not the life that I want to live. So the thing is, like, my brother, you know, he's very like updated on like my dating life or whatever. Or I mean, I don't really, whatever. So he's up to date. And I expressed at the beginning of the night, I'm like, you know, I said, I'm just, you know, I want to smooch tonight. Like, I'm just, that's what I'm feeling. Or like, I want somebody to pay for my drinks. That would be amazing. Should have tried a little bit harder on that one, but it's okay because I got my smooch. So we're at this bar, and I see this girl, and I'm very like, not girl, woman, grown woman, because I know my type. So I'm very like, I approach women, all right? Like, I am done with this like whole thing of like, oh, like lesbians don't know how to talk to like other girl. I am over it. I know how to talk to women. I approach, all right? I don't care. But I'm very methodical about it. The first thing I do is I look to see if they're married. So it's like, oh, there's no ring on your finger, we're good. Which the fact, I say that as I'm wearing rings, but it's just the way that you lesbians and your rings, the way that you bisexual women and the way that you sapphics like to wear rings, it's very confusing for somebody like me, because I'm trying to scope it out. I'm trying to scope out the scene, and I'm like, okay, so she's wearing 14 rings, but none of them are on her left ring finger. But also, somebody wearing 14 rings can't possibly be single. You know? So that, throws me for a loop. But that's my go-to, my number one. And then I kind of I'll wait a little bit to watch and see oh, are you here with somebody? And then if they are there with somebody, I pay attention, because I'm not going to approach somebody who is in a relationship. I'm just not going to approach somebody who's already seeing someone else. If it looks like you're obviously there with somebody, I just feel like it's a little bit disrespectful. So I like to be aware, and I like to set myself up for success. So I see this girl, and I'm in the process of scoping out. I'm still at step one. I'm still at step one of okay, is she wearing any rings? And my brother sees me, and he goes, oh, what are you doing over there? And so I was I point, and I'm just I think that girl is really hot. And my brother was oh. And then he walks over to her and gets her attention and points me out and says, hey, my sister is over there. She thinks that you're hot. And I am just mortified. This is just so, again, I approach women, I talk to women, I don't have any hesitations, but it's a build up, I gotta get there. This is also that was my brother's first time in a lesbian bar, when we went to Nobody's Darling. He has since been back. He loves lesbians, which who doesn't? So it was just oh my God, I was so embarrassed. But I went up to her and I said, hey, sorry about him. He was very drunk at that point. But I was just okay, whatever. So we talked and we danced and we smooched and I had a good time. So in the end, it all worked out. It worked out perfectly. But yeah, and then we went and I got some tater tots at this restaurant down the street, and then we went home. And then Sunday, because I had to fly out, we didn't do too much. We got some ramen. We went to Pride Fest for a little bit. I got to see the Chicago Spirit Brigade for the first time, doing their little routine. So cute. I love it. And I love the diversity, especially just in age groups. That is something that I've noticed is really big for me now, is trying to be in spaces that are diverse, both in culture, in gender, in expression, but also in age. I just feel sometimes again, I get kind of stuck in that 18 to 24 party crowd, even just kind of the under 30 clubbing, drinking crowd. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. I said, I do love a good party. I do love a good pool party. But again, at the same time, it's just trying to find, the balance. And then also I feel when I'm in different situations with, people of various age groups, there is a different opportunity to connect that I don't necessarily get when I'm in too much of an insular group or an insular community. So it's really nice for me to be in spaces that, are diverse in that way. So that was lovely. And then I went home and I came back. And I had probably one of the most difficult weeks of my life at work. But I got through it. And then Friday, I flew out to New York. And what a debacle. Quite the debacle. So, our hotel reservation got canceled twice. Mind you, okay, let me rewind. So as I'm trying to leave Chicago, I'm trying to book the hotel for New York. I did not book my flight until Monday or Tuesday. and I was flying out on Friday. I promise I am usually more responsible, I promise. So, but the flight got booked. The first hotel got booked, but then got canceled. I was going to be staying with two of my friends, and we were like, we can get a room with a king bed and call it a day. Like, we're not bougie. We're not, delicate little flowers. You can fit 3 people comfortably on a king size bed. No issue. So we're down with that. Booked the first hotel. They cancel it. Didn't really give us a reason why. They just canceled it. And we're like, okay. Booked the second hotel. We think that we're good. We think that we're in the clear. I fly out on Friday. I get to the hotel. It was like a $90 Uber from the airport. And I said, absolutely not. And I took the train for the first time all by myself. The New York train. I am a city girl through and through. So took the train by myself. Got to the hotel. I go to check in and they're like, oh, we don't have a reservation under that name. What do you mean? What do you mean? So yeah, I guess there was like a mix up with like some of like the way that it was booked or whatever. So they had canceled the booking, but then like they literally rebooked me like right there. And I was just like, thank God, like I appreciate you. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all were amazing. We figured it out very, very quickly. Not an issue. And it was late and they still helped me figure it out. So I was very happy with that. And then I went up to the hotel room and I knocked out. So my friends were not getting there until Saturday evening, like leaving like late evening, probably like 7 o'clock. I think it's like when they were going to get there. So I went ahead and again did my little independent girl thing, walked around the city. I specifically like wanted to go thrifting in New York because like, that's what people say the heat is. Like New York and LA are like always like, the thrift meccas or whatever. So I wanted to go thrifting. I wanted to see, but I just kind of found that it's like a little bit of the same as Chicago, where stuff just kind of ends up being like overpriced, like a little bit overhyped. And the thing is, like, if it's an actual like vintage item or like an item that was of high value when it was originally sold brand new, yes, I understand that it's probably still going to be expensive when you go to thrift it, especially if it is in good condition, or especially if it is just a very high quality item. That's perfectly fine. But selling the Me shirt for $45 felt like a hate crime. It just did. I didn't like that. Did not vibe with that at all. So, yeah. I did end up going, the first store that I went to was 13 Crosby, and I dug around in that, little $10 bin. That's where I got my little Adidas checks over stripes. That's where I got my Nike bag, the little like repurposed jean bag. I really like it. It's very much giving sporty. I'm looking at it right now. That's why I'm like over here, but no, it's very much giving sporty femme. And then I got this top from there as well, just like again another sheer bodysuit that I figure I can kind of like dress up, dress down, like however I want. I've yet to wear it yet, but I definitely will. And then I got a skirt from Goodwill that super cute. I think it was like $12. I do need to get like something to kind of cinch the waist a little bit, but when I have money in my account, we'll be doing that. So God, why am I like this? So yeah, I had a great time. I had a great time with thrifting. It was amazing. And I think like Goodwill was probably like the best, one of the best Goodwills that I've gone to in terms of like the selection was really good and the pricing like was very on point. So I would say like out of everywhere that I've thrifted, I would say like maybe New York is the best. I feel like New York is the best in terms of the selection of items available, the pricing, and the quality of the items. In terms of like stuff that actually ends up like really fitting my style, I think like LA and Southern California in general will like always vibe with me, because I now when I'm on Facebook Marketplace, I don't know why, I just realized that like I can get clothing off of Facebook Marketplace, not just random furniture. So I've been on there. I have been on there. And I've just like I have my location set to Southern California, because I'm like, I know that I'm gonna find things in this area that I really like, versus like New York, I kind of had to pick and, you know, pull through the racks a lot to really find things that I vibed with. So overall for me, LA, but like if you're just, you know, a 15 baddie in general, New York is probably the place to go. And you know, I'll share more as I thrift in other places. I'll definitely share more. I didn't even thrift that much in DC when I lived there, so I think I'll probably go back and, like, you know, revisit when I have money. So yeah, but very fun, very fun. I went to like 3 different thrift stores. I finished at Goodwill, and then after Goodwill I went and I got a piercing because it was only $10. And then I decided I wanted to go like up to Greenwich Village, because I was just like, you know, I might as well, you know, be gay in the place where gays are. Got to see Stonewall. It was very nice. And at that point I was like, all right, I need to go back to the hotel. I was 2.5 miles away. And when I tell you I walked it. I walked the whole thing. Yeah. It was... I did it. All right, I made it. When I tell y'all, I cannot deal with the way that public transit is, and yeah, it's not for me. It's not. If I can walk it, I will walk it. So I went back to the hotel, chilled out for a little bit, and then I went to the Dyke March. I met up with Rita Romero of Red Light Disco. We've been chatting online for the past couple of months, and I was like, girly pop, we need to meet up. And now we share location with each other. But it was really nice just kind of like chat with her. Like, she's from South Florida, so it was nice to kind of get to know like what her experience was when she was living here and growing up here, and, you know, also being able to chat about potentially working on some stuff. So yeah, stay tuned. That was really nice. We had a little picnic in Washington Square Park. It was very lovely. Met up with some other Florida people as well. And then it was a question of what are we doing on Saturday night? Because there were so many different events. And I'm not even gonna lie, the covers were definitely higher than Miami covers. Like here, like for our events, it's like what, $10, $15, maybe $20. Like it's reasonable. Again, I say as I have overdrafted my account, but whatever. Context, relative. It's all relative. So it's reasonable. Versus these events were kind of in like the 30 to 40 range, and I'm like, so we ended up going to the Taste Entertainment event because it was free entry for cancers, and there were 2 cancers in our group of 5. So got vetoed, and we ended up there. I think it was in Brooklyn, but it was very fun. Again, DJ Samantha Blends, she was there. She got us singing. She got us doing karaoke every single time without fail. And it's like she always waits until it's the point of the night where I've had about 6 shots, and I'm ready to just scream at the top of my lungs. But it's always like it's always great. It's always really fun. It's always really enjoyable, and, you know, it's so easy to just kind of like turn to the person next to you and just be like singing like R&B, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. Like, it is such a good vibe. It's always a good vibe when Sammy is there. So that's why you all should come out this weekend to Ladywood and to brunch, because Sammy's gonna be there. So did our thing, did our little 1-2. That is also when okay, a couple of things. We definitely got to this event a little bit late. We were having too much fun in the hotel room. It is what it is. It happens. We're just girls. But then I get there, I'm having a good time, you know, and the thing about me, I'm gonna be real honest. I can't shake ass. All right, it's not, and it's not, or not. I can't, but like I'm still learning how to actually do it, and I still feel very self-conscious when I do it. But I guess I don't know if they just needed content or something, but like the cameraman, the videographer, she was on me the whole night, and I'm like, I'm only here for like 2 hours. Yeah, and it's with the light and everything, and then I'm like, because when I'm on camera, I'm like, oh, I had to perform, like, I'm performing for you guys right now, like, it's I want to be entertaining, I want to make good content. So like she's got the camera just like on me, like zooming in, zooming out, and I'm like like mama, come pick me up, I'm scared. I'm like, I'm doing my best. I'm sweating. I literally, it was so hot in there. I completely sweat off my eyeliner. I had to go. So that's also when I went in the bathroom and I recorded it, and I was like, hey, this bathroom's not up to code. I was in there trying to wipe my eye because I looked stupid. I looked insane. I like wiped it off of my face. I'm like, this looks ridiculous. But yeah, I was sweating so much. It was so hot in there. And then, I started dancing because like I danced with a couple of people. I started dancing with this one chick who was just like, again, very obviously just like drunk. So again, dancing, having a good time. I'm sweating. She's sweating. I'm having to hold on to the DJ booth to keep myself up. The floor is slippery. I lost my earrings. And then I found both of them. I was very happy about that. But I was like, I've lost an earring. And then she goes and she wants to pick me up. And I'm like, Mama, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. But she is insistent. She's, and again, because she's drunk. And I'm like, I can tell that you're drunk. And she goes and she picks me up and she starts wobbling. And I'm like, put me down. Like, here's my thing. I can't do it. If you know that you can't move weight like that, and mind you, I am 135, 140 pounds, all right? I'm not insanely heavy, but I'm also not lightweight, all right? I got some stature to me, all right? We're only adding more stature. If you know that you cannot move weight, do not pick me up. It is that simple. You know that this is beyond your skill level. Put me down. Unhand me, wench. Like, put me back on the floor. I want my feet on the floor. You can't. Healthcare is so bad in this country. If you drop me, if I break an ankle, God forbid I get a concussion, I've never broken a bone in my life. I have never broken a bone in my life, but I see people in those MRI machines and it makes me nervous. It makes me scared. So it's like, not only am I going to have to deal with the claustrophobia, I'm going to have a medical bill. Do you all know where my bank account is at? You do know where it's at because I've said it multiple times already. So put me down. Matter of fact, actually, what's her name? Lizzie Bristow. She did a mask camp in Chicago. It's like a mask boot camp in Chicago a couple weeks ago. Girly Pop, I'm gonna need you to host another one. And I'm gonna if we're in the club and you think that you're gonna pick me up, I need like a certificate of completion from her program before you so much as look my direction. All right, I need it signed, certified, notarized. Otherwise, keep your hands off me. All right? I feel like that's a fair stance to take. So yeah, I think after that, because she held me up there for a long time. I'm pretty sure the videographer got it too. I was feeling very unstable. I was feeling very scared. So when she put me down, I walked away. I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is piquing my anxiety. And that was it. That was my Saturday night. I was like, all right, I'm done sweating. It's time to go home. And then Sunday, I was flying out. So what did we do? Sunday? It was a little bit tricky. We went and we got food in the morning together, like just my friends and I. And then after that, I had to go to the event that I was invited to, the day party hosted by Las Renas NYC. This was the Reunited Pride Party out in, what's it called? Hell's Kitchen. Very nice, very fun. And that's also like another event that was just like very diverse in terms of like age. And I really loved it. Like I can't get enough of that shit. I like being around a diverse crowd. Also, I'm so sorry. My eye is so itchy. My eyes are so dry all the time. But no, it was just really nice to be in a diverse crowd. And it was nice to be invited to my first event. Yeah, I was very happy. I did see probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life there. Her name was Victoria. I just thought she was very beautiful. She had a mullet. Matter of fact, no, because that's like little posts I made a while ago about like, you know, my exceptions for when I want to lower my standards. Yeah, a mullet gets me every time. A curly mullet, I'm on one knee, frankly. Speaking of which, that was the thing. When I was walking, when I was on my way, so when on Saturday morning, I left my hotel and then I was like, okay, I need to go get some food. Because it was already getting like a little bit late in the day, and I was like, I need to go get something like grab and go. So I'm walking through Chinatown, and I'm passing the grocery stores, and I'm debating if I want to go into a grocery store and kind of like get a bunch of like small things and kind of like girl dinner my way all the way to the thrift store, or if I actually want to like go somewhere and sit down. So as I'm like kind of like peering into this grocery store, and mind you, I've got my headphones on, I've got my mean face on because I don't want to be messed with. So I'm kind of like looking into this grocery store trying to figure out if I want to go in, and I hear like a man kind of like, you know, say something to me, and I wasn't quite tuned into what he was saying. So then he decided to say it again because I didn't respond. He said, "Excuse me, my future wife." Now, we all know how I feel about men. All right. It's just what a wild thing to say to somebody on the street. What a wild thing to say. Like, and especially like, if I didn't answer you the first time, why do you think that I would answer you the second time? All right. And headphones in, minding my business, just walking down the street. Just don't talk to me unless I have dropped $100 on the ground, which I don't even have to drop. I'm really roasting myself over the spending. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm like, I don't have, no, don't say these things to me. All right. Leave me alone. Now, on the other hand, if a woman had said that to me, I'm calling your bluff, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I'll be your future wife, future ex-wife. I don't care. Baby daddy, baby mama, I don't care. You said marriage. I said I do. You said will you? I said I will. So let's go. Pull up. Yeah, just very, very strange, very, very strange thing for that man to say. But I think otherwise, the catcalling wasn't that bad in New York. It's substantially worse in Miami. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that. And then my flight got canceled coming out of New York. So that really sucked. Yeah, getting home from New York really sucked with the cancellations and everything. I guess it poured like really bad here. And you know, I was flying into Fort Lauderdale. Broward County is just not good when it comes to water, especially to the Fort Lauderdale airport, oddly enough. So yeah, but that was my whole Pride Month. That was my whole month. I came home on July 1st, and I don't know. It was just a really great way to, wrap everything up. It's just because it's like on the one hand, it's like, you know, the personal accomplishment of, you know, being able to connect with my community, and that, like, it's been so hard to do in previous years. And I'm just so grateful that it was able to happen this year, and it was able to happen at such a large scale too. And then on top of that, it's like also the business and podcast, like, growth, like, on top of that. Because I think, like, this month, because I was out so much, I ended up meeting a lot of people who have been following the podcast, or like who are familiar with the podcast, but they just like haven't, like, I haven't met them like in person yet. And like, it still is always like this very surreal moment to be like, oh, like, I've got a little something like going on here. And I really also appreciate like all the positive messages and the positive feedback that I get from people. I know I talk about it all the time that like I need to work on finding that validation from within, but it is nice to know that I'm doing it right. Like, I am that, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, my goal is to be an asset to this community. And when people, you know, kind of confirm like, hey, like, yeah, you're doing something great here, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. It's okay, everything's all right, everything's fine. So yeah, very happy with Pride Month, very happy with myself, very happy with my own progress, I'm very happy with my little podcast. So yeah, thank you guys, thank you. If you want to follow along with some of my other content, you can find me on Instagram at bottumsup.pod. That is bottumsup.pod. Same name on TikTok as well. If you would like to be on an episode, or if you would like to suggest a topic for one of my bonus episodes, you can shoot me an email. It's bottumsuppod@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And happy wrath. Oh my God. All right, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.